Okay, this is our speaker all the way from Israel. Where in Israel are you? What city?
It's a city called Modi'in. It's in the center of the country.
Okay, and we're in Naples, Florida, and this is RAFI SAAR?
Yes, SAAR, yes.
SAAR, okay.
SAAR.
Because we were trying to figure out how you pronounce it.
What time is it? What time is it?
It's pronounced with an S, SAAR.
Okay, SAAR. And what time is it there?
It's 6:30 in the afternoon right now.
7 hours.
Okay, 7 hours. Carol, maybe a little bit more, some more? Okay, it's all yours. You might want to introduce yourself and... Oops.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Okay. And now, can you see this?
Yes.
All right. So, welcome everyone, and thank you for having me. And thank you, George, for inviting me here. George approached me about 5 months ago, I think. I don't see the audience. I only saw you, George. How many people do we have there?
We probably have about 60.
All right. And we have a mix of ages, or more parents, more
Young at heart.
Now everybody's under the age of 100, except one. Yeah, everybody's under the age of 100. We have them all the way from 99 to maybe 55. Anybody 55 or under in the room? No, maybe 60, 65. There we go, 65.
Excellent. So, now, George told me you already had a few sessions about iMOVIE, right? And I teach a class on Udemy on iMOVIE, and we'll talk about it at the end. And that's where George actually we met. We talked. We chatted. So those are the topics I'm going to cover today. I'll say a few words about myself. I'll say a few things about iMOVIE, a little bit about the history, a few important things about iMOVIE. I'll give a couple of movie making tips. You know, I could give hundreds of tips, but I chose a few specific things that I find myself saying over and over again to different people, and those are also tips which relate to the next bullet, which are some specific iMOVIE tips that I'll share with you today in this presentation. And I'll give a live demonstration on iMOVIE, how we can solve some problems. And then we'll leave some time for questions. Okay, so if you have any questions, something you think about it during the presentation, write it down, and we'll have some time, and I hope that I'll be able to answer them right away. And like I said, I'll say a few words about my Udemy course in the end. Okay, so as you already heard, my name is RAFI SAAR. I'm married plus 5 children. I was born in Belgium, so if you hear an accent, excuse me, front. I did study in the States, so I have a BA and a master's in computer science, and I worked in the high-tech business for almost 20 years. Today I'm doing mostly day trading and stock market. I'm doing audio and video productions of all kinds, so people come here and record, and I edit movies, and I produce online courses like the one on iMOVIE. I've always been fascinated as hobbies in music, photo, and film in that specific chronological order. So music was my first love. Since I was born, I would sing in different choirs and compose and arrange. later I got my first SLR camera, and since then it never left my hands. And film, I guess that started when my first child was born, and I would start filming him all over the place. Problem is, we would accumulate more and more tapes, hours and hours of footage, and they would mostly be stored in some closet or in some drawer, and we would rarely watch those tapes again. And iMOVIE is probably what came along and made a big change. I think maybe once or twice I hooked up my video camera to the VCR, and I exchanged tapes and looked for specific scenes that I loved, and I copied them to a VHS tape and then gave them to my parents. That was a very, very time-consuming process, right? You have to look and find all those pieces that you want, and you have to copy those over one by one, and then again, you would watch them here and there, but mostly we have a bunch of tapes that are just accumulating dust. I don't know how it's been with you over there. If you had a similar experience or not, at least that's how it was for me. Okay, and then iMOVIE came along, and I've been the user since the first version. So, just a few things about iMOVIE. So iMOVIE exists since October 1999. So it's already 18 years old. Okay, so iMOVIE has already graduated high school. It has its own driver's license already. It's coming along a long way. And one of its strengths, I see two main strengths in iMOVIE. One is that it's been bundled with every new Mac you would buy since that time, or you could purchase it for free. There were times where you could buy it for a very cheap price, or maybe if it's your second copy, but it was mostly free. So iMOVIE is really available on millions and millions of computers on Macintoshes worldwide. So that's the first strength. And the second strength is the fourth bullet here, is that it's simple to use, yet very, very powerful. Okay, so I'll go back to the third bullet. Like I said, originally it only worked with digital tapes, DV or mini DV tapes. You would have to hook it up with a FireWire cable to your computer, and it was really, really amazing. I remember the first time I did it. You would access your camera and control your camera through your computer. So you would press play on the computer, and your camera would start to play. You would say, okay, import. There was an import button. You clicked the import button, and automatically your camera would start to rewind the tape all the way to the back, to the beginning, and start playing it. And it would start to import all your footage. It would automatically realize when you finished filming something and start filming something else, and it would split all those into separate clips on your computer in iMOVIE. So that was really wonderful. Nowadays, you hook up any camera that you want. You can import anything that you want, any file format, everything almost can be imported in iMOVIE. So as I said, it's really come a long way. Now again, like I said, iMOVIE is on one hand very simple to use, but the end result, what you got from it, from the very first release, was really amazing. The look. Okay, you had I'm listing here everything that it can do. You have all those transitions and the titles, the effects. You can add sound, music. It comes already with many sound effects pre-installed. Later on, later versions, you could add themes and then trailers, which were really amazing. You could add. Apple took a symphony orchestra. And they actually composed music that would go along with those trailers, and it would fit exactly according to the time when things change in the trailer. The music would go along exactly. So all of that, you would get a very simple program, and you were able to get something that was truly magical. Okay, it was really Hollywood level of looks, and people really loved it, and it from there on it just took off. Now, over time, like we said, 18 years during that time, many companies jumped on this occasion and came out with their own programs. Microsoft on Windows, they have Moviemaker, and other programs as well, but I think none of them really came to be as good as iMOVIE. And if you go back to my story with my kid, with all these hours of footage that I had on tape, with iMOVIE, that was the first time I could finally, import the tapes, import the footage to my computer, and then easily, choose the portions that I want and create short movies that people will actually enjoy watching. Okay, so that made a huge difference. And then suddenly there was a purpose for all this footage that we accumulated over time. Okay, so that's a little bit about the history. Now let's go talk about some more interesting stuff, I think. Okay, some problems with iMOVIE. iMOVIE, yes? Yes, George?
Yes.
I thought someone wanted to say something.
No. Do you want to take questions during or after?
If there are some specific questions to
Yeah.
what I'm saying, then please, go ahead. Specific questions about how to do something in iMOVIE will leave to the end.
Okay. All right, go ahead. We're fine.
All right. So iMOVIE has many limitations, and why is that? So the main reason are the things that I've said before. The fact that it's free software, it's aimed at a mass market. Okay, it's a consumer grade movie editing software for everyone, and because it's free and it's for everyone, it has to remain simple. So Apple didn't want to add too many features. One, because it would cost them money to add all these features and support all these features. But two, it would make the program less user friendly. It would make the programs much more harder to use. I think it's common sense, and because of that, they had to keep it simple and limit the software in its capabilities. And one of these things is that many functionalities are not customizable. Okay, you have a few features, a few buttons here and there where you can change something. There are a few fonts you can maybe change the color, but not all of them. A few things you can move, but most of it you can't. And that's exactly for that reason, to keep it simple. And one of the biggest limitations, in my opinion, is that you can only have your main timeline where you put your clips in a movie, and then you can add one more layer on top when to doing things like green screen or picture-in-picture, so where you can show two images at once. You want more than two? Not with iMOVIE. Okay? And as I was using iMOVIE, I became more and more proficient, and I wanted to do more. I wanted to do things that iMOVIE did not let me to do. And I started to develop my own solutions, my own workarounds on how to overcome many of those limitations. And I was able to add as many layers as I want. Okay, it's not very easy. It's really doing something a little bit crooked. Okay, it takes more steps, but I was able to do it. And I will show a few things today. And in my course, also I show many many tips, which I call like pro tips, where I really went ahead and developed some cool ideas on how to overcome these. Okay, any questions on that?
Any questions so far?
No.
No, go ahead.
Everything is clear, all right. Okay, just a couple of tips, like I was saying before. So the first thing is, many people have smartphones or advanced phones in their pockets. Most of them today capture very, very high quality video. So just use them. Okay, those phones capture video in a much higher quality than what I was telling you before when I was taking videos of my son when he was born. They're much better, and they're always there with you. So when you see something that you want to capture and you think that it's something that you could use in a movie, so just go ahead and choose video. Okay, it's right there with you. Okay, that's a very simple tip. Okay, the next one, a camera. If it's a still camera or video camera, they all need light. Okay, so think when you plan to make a movie, when you know you want to make a certain movie, and so think about where you want to shoot. You want to make it inside, maybe outside. There's much more light, and it will look much better. How about the time of day? Okay, maybe if it's in the evening or at night, and it doesn't have to be at night. Then maybe wait for the morning or for the day, the afternoon, where you have more light. Or if it has to be at night, make sure you have light or your own lighting. Otherwise, you won't see very well. And it's a biggie. Now, next tip is even more important, because while you need to have a good image quality, and light is necessary to have a good image quality, sound quality is much more important than image quality. Okay, if the image quality isn't so good, okay, maybe even if it's dark, but you can understand what people are saying, you will still understand what's happening in the movie. But if it's the other way around, if the image quality is superb, okay, everything is crisp, but you can't understand what people are saying, your movie is lost. Okay, over a year ago, I went to my son's high school graduation party, and they had like a 20-minute movie where they filmed teachers and students, giving them their blessings and saying their farewells. But the sound quality was awful. You couldn't hear anything. All the audience was just sitting there for 20 minutes. We see, people jumping around, but you don't understand a thing. It's really a pity, and people don't understand how important it is to have good sound quality. I will show a few examples later on, and I bring it to the extreme, okay, so you really understand how movie looks when you have bad lighting and when the sound is bad and you can't understand what people are saying. Next one again is common sense, but the problem is very often people forget about it while they're shooting a video. Okay, make sure you're keeping the camera as steady as you can. Sometimes you're filming something that's funny, and you see people holding their cameras and they're just shaking while they laugh, and they don't think about it at the time. But later on, when people will watch the movie, everything is shaking, and you can start to get sick just from watching the movie. So just remember that. Try to keep it steady as much as you can. If it fits, to bring a tripod if you have a tripod, and you can put your camera still in one place. That's the best you can do, of course. Okay, this one is again today when we have smartphones. The normal way to hold your phone is when you have it vertical in your hand. Okay, that's the common way to hold the phone, and automatically people will start to film while their phone fine if your sole purpose is just to send a movie to someone else's phone so they can see it. You know, if you're just filming yourself talking to them, that's fine. Okay, if you're just to share on some social media, you know, in some cases it's fine. But if the purpose of your movie is to show it on a screen, on a computer screen, on a TV, or like you're watching now, you know, when it's projected on the screen, all those screens are in landscape or orientation. And when you film something in portrait mode, you have all this black on both sides, and it's really a shame. You know, you're missing all this area. And if you had shot it up front, you know, to begin with, in landscape mode, you would fill the whole screen with what you're filming. And again, I will show in a few tips that I prepared in iMOVIE. I will show how you can sometimes fix or make it a little bit nicer if you by accident shot something in portrait mode. And the last tip here is that always try, you know, when you're filming a scene, especially when you're filming someone talking, you know, press the record button. Wait a few seconds before you start the scene or before the person starts to talk. And the same thing at the end. You know, the person stopped talking or the scene is over. Wait a few seconds before you press the record button again to end recording, because you will need this slack area at the beginning and in the end when you want to have transitions. And again, I will show that in my next tips in a live demonstration in iMOVIE. Okay, any questions on this slide?
Yes, we have one.
With the image quality or the light, can you increase the light within the program? Can you fix the light like you can in a portrait?
Okay, in iMOVIE, there are some ways to have effects. Okay, so you can add effects to make it look lighter or darker or add some color to it. But it's not like fixing the color in pro video editing software. So it's very limited in iMOVIE. And when you shoot something in a dark environment, it will be grainy. And even if you try to fix it, you won't be able to get this grainy effect out of it. Okay, and if you want, we can try it out soon, because I have an example with something I shot in a dark area, and I'll try to apply an effect and see how it looks. Okay, so it's very, very limited in iMOVIE.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so let's go and dive right ahead into iMOVIE, and I'll show you a few things that you can do. And so the first thing is sound, and I say here use an external microphone. But before that, okay, now the first clip you see right here, I recorded with noise in the background. And I don't know how the volume is in the audience, and I hope it's not going to be too loud. Okay, but it's just to get the point across. Okay, so I'm going to play it right now. Okay, I hope it wasn't too loud over there. Could you hear that?
No.
Didn't play.
Oh, you didn't hear a thing?
Didn't even play.
Couldn't hear it.
It moved.
Okay. So I'm going to switch my speakers so it needs to go through to my microphone. Okay, let's try again. Okay, can you hear that now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously you saw my mouth moving and I was talking, but I assume no one could understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay, so obviously I've exaggerated here all the way, but the point is that a movie where you can't hear anything, even though the image is crisp, it's not worth anything. Okay, and the second thing is, you see all this black here on the right and left. It's really a shame, that it was filmed this way, and so think about it. Okay. Now the next one I shot in landscape mode. Okay, and I hope we'll be able to hear that. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so actually you weren't able to hear almost anything. And why is that? It's because I'm standing very, very far away from the camera, and the microphone is on the camera. Okay, now what I did is I recorded on an external microphone, which in this case I'm holding in my hand. Okay, now it's not, I don't, usually it's not good to hold a microphone in the hand because it may add some noise, but just for this example, I've done that. Now I'm going to mute the audio of this clip where I shot this video piece here, and I'm going to unmute what I recorded with my microphone that I'm holding. Okay, I hope that you will hear it now.
Catch what you're saying very clearly, and it will also probably catch much more noises from around. But that's why I'm holding an external microphone right in front of my mouth, and therefore you will hear me much better. Now, usually I will not hold the microphone in front of the camera, and I will not hold it in my hand because that may add some more noises. And I'm just doing it to show you how it works.
All right, could you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So I think the point here is clear. Okay, now I know I'm aware that many people don't have an external microphone. Again, you don't need to have it. It's not a must. But if you do have one, it's very good to use it. Now, another tip: you could record sound with your phone. Okay, phones again, like they have a good camera, they also have a good microphone. So you could have one camera filming and record sound on your phone. It could even be in your shirt pocket, and then import that's the recorded sound into iMOVIE and sync it with the video. Now, how do you sync? I'm not going to explain it now here, but usually you should make some noise. In Hollywood movies they have like a clapper, right? And the clapper is there so they can see and hear exactly at what point the movie and the sound has to be synchronized. And once you have that peak in the sound, you can easily go here and move the sound below your movie to the left or to the right until it's synced all the way. Usually you should zoom it in all the way, okay, and then when you have both waveforms turned on, okay, now it's muted so you don't see it, you can more easily sync it correctly. Okay. So that was the tip about using an external microphone. Okay, next one is what do we do when you shoot something in portrait mode? Okay, so I told you before not to do it. Okay, but what if you did? So I prepared another project here for that. Okay, let's just listen a moment to what I'm saying.
Everyone, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, George, for inviting me to this special meeting about iMOVIE. I really hope you're going to enjoy it, and you are enjoying it until now. If you have any questions, there's a Q&A section coming up, so think about it and ask me anything you want. And one more thing I want to tell you is to have a very happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your holidays.
Okay. So I have two clips here shot in portrait mode. So how can I make it look better? Okay, so we're going to do a few things here. First thing, I'll enlarge this image so that the black on both sides will be, so that the image in the middle will be bigger, and we'll have less of black on both sides. So how do we do it? I go to the crop settings right here. I choose crop to fill. And now I don't want to use this area here because that's too small. If I use it, it will look silly. But I can make it span also part of the black here and here. Okay, and now once I'm happy with this, you can see my face. So I will still have some black on both sides, and I can say, okay, I'm happy. Okay, it already looks a little bit less bad. Okay, it's not bad. It's still black. Okay, I don't like to have black on both sides, but it's better. It's better, I think. Okay, so this is one thing that we can do. Okay, let me do the same thing with this guy here. So again, crop to fill.
Yeah, but I can't see.
Let's enlarge it.
Can't see it. Change the lighting.
Okay, and as I said before, this was shot completely in the dark. Obviously, you see all this grainy here. I'll try soon to add some effects and see what we get, okay? So, okay, this is a little bit better. This is one thing and a small improvement. Now, one thing that I like to do, and I will show two things, okay, we can do here. One thing is I'll go to the backgrounds, and I'll choose something, I prefer something that's moving. Okay, maybe those blobs here. Okay, let me drop this down here in my movie. And then I'll pick up this clip and raise it on top. Okay, now I have a second layer here. Okay, this is an overlay. Let me enlarge this here, and now I can take a second clip as well and put it on top as well. Okay, and now instead of having all this black, we have something that's more appealing.
Everyone, so happy to be here. Thank you, George, for inviting me to this special meeting.
Okay? How do you like that?
Much better.
Much better, right? So, I didn't do anything complicated. Okay, it's really simple. Alright, I just enlarged my image so it's less of a problem. And then instead of black, I made it more appealing. Okay, you can choose any of the others or anything you want. You can put in the background. Okay, now I'll do something else. Let me undo. Okay, and we're going to do something similar but different. Okay, take a look. I'm going to select this clip and I'm going to copy. Okay, so you can right click and copy, or Command C, or here edit and copy, and I'm going to paste it in my movie. Okay, so I have twice the same thing. Okay, now I'm going to take this one and put one on top of the other, exactly. Okay, I can do the same thing again here with the other clip. I'm not going to do it now. And I'm going to I'm going to mute one of them because I have the sound twice. Okay, I don't need to have the sound twice. So I'm going to modify and mute audio. Okay, now I have them twice. Now, I go back to this one and I go to its crop settings again. And I'll turn this to make it fit the whole image. Oops, one moment. Okay, so let me take like the center of my face. Now let's see what I have. Okay, now I have the front part, which is what I had before. And on both sides you see the original image. Now I don't like the way it looks, okay, and so I want to differentiate between the front part and the part behind me. So I go to the effects here, and we go to the clip filter, and let's select something. Okay, let's pick, 1 second. Okay, so I selected the dreamy effect. Okay, it was quick. I click on the dreamy here, and so it turned the part here to be like a lighter, okay, like a dream effect. And now when we look at it, thank you, George, for inviting me to this special meeting about iMOVIE. I really hope you're going to enjoy it. If you are enjoying it until now, if you have any questions. Okay, so you see me twice, okay, but the other one is a little bit different. Now the front image is really hiding a lot from the top one. Okay, so just for the heck of it, let me bring it back to be a little bit worse. Okay, and I can see the effect. This special meeting about iMOVIE. I really hope you're going to enjoy it. If you are enjoying it until now, if you have any questions. Okay, how do you like that?
I don't like that.
We don't really like it.
For the first one?
We're not crazy about it.
All right. Okay, so it's as you like. Now, I think very often in the news, okay, if you watch the news, very often you will see someone who shot something in portrait mode, and it will look something like that. Normally, the part in the back will be blurry. Okay, you will see the main scene in the middle, again, a little bit wider, and the same scene again will fill both sides, and they will usually blur it. Okay, so but there is no blur effect in iMOVIE, unfortunately. Okay, but so this is something mimicking as much as we can. All right. Okay, I'm just undoing. Okay. Any questions about those tips that I've shown?
Any questions about those tips? Yes.
Is this what we're going to be doing, the refinement, or we're going to look at some of the basics of establishing a program for a movie? I'm a little bit lost here.
Did you hear what he said?
No, I didn't hear it very well.
Can you speak up?
I say I expected a little bit of basics, setting up an iMovie program, not a refinement, and little tips for somebody who is used to using iMovie.
So you're more of a beginner,
Well, I
right?
thought that this was a beginner's film.
Well, I think he's going to do a little bit of both.
That will happen in the class too.
Right. And we're going to have classes and so forth in January, February, March, and we get into all that simple stuff very, very thoroughly. But I'm not sure what he's going to say with the rest of his presentation, but that's a good point.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I thought you already had a few sessions on iMovie.
Well, some people have gone to them, some people haven't, and it's a variable.
Okay.
I would.
All right.
1 second. We have another question.
I
Natalie?
just wanted to say that I'm here because of more advanced features. So this is fine with me going through these because I've used them. But because I've used iMovie a lot, as George knows, setting up the basics should be it's a fairly simple procedure. I think most people are looking at what more they can do.
Yeah, you can get that on YouTube.
Yes.
This is a great class.
I didn't hear exactly what was saying. Can you maybe just repeat?
Tell them to continue.
No. Natalie just said that this was right up her alley. She understands the basics,
Okay.
and she really appreciated the tips you were going through. And she,
Okay.
so it's that's a major issue we have all the time, even in our classes. We try to go down the middle somewhat, And don't worry about it, you're fine.
Okay.
And we'll make sure we get you the basics also. And,
Okay, all right.
and I can even guide you in that direction without a problem. Go ahead.
Okay, so the next thing, if you recall, when we were talking about my tips about filmmaking, I was saying, make sure you have some extra footage before and after. And I will explain why that is important. So I have here those two clips, okay? And I'll bring the speaker again to my microphone. Now, the first clip ends directly when I stop talking, and the clip right thereafter, I start talking immediately. Okay, so there isn't any slack in between. And ask me anything you want. And one more thing I want to tell you. Okay, so now let's say I want to add a transition between the two. Okay, let's see what happens. So I'm going to the transitions tab, and let's pick something. Okay, now you can see that the clip was shortened. Okay, now let's just see what happens, and can you still hear what I'm saying in both clips? Think about it and ask me anything. The thing I want to tell you is did you realize that? Okay, one of me is talking on top of the other. Okay, let's hear it again. So think about it and ask me anything. The thing I want to tell you is okay, so you can't hear the end of the first clip, and you can't hear very well the beginning of the next clip. Right? So first of all, why is that? Well, it's very simple, because once you add a transition, what it means is that right here, you have to show the ending of one clip and the beginning of the next one simultaneously. Okay, this is the idea of a transition. Okay, any transition I would pick, okay, be it something like this, okay, or an image spinning. Okay, you will always see the end of one image and the beginning of the next image at the same time. And so the same goes with audio. So with the image, okay, it's fine, I can live with it. But with the audio, when you have to hear both clips, that becomes a problem. Okay, so how do you solve it? Okay, so here's a tip. Okay, so I'm going to add, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a freeze frame. Okay, a freeze frame to both clips. A freeze frame really means I go to a certain frame in my clip and I freeze it, and I will get a picture of a few seconds. Okay, so I go to modify menu here and select add freeze frame. And now this first frame of my video, it was added here as a picture. Okay, a few seconds. Okay, now I won't need it to be that long, but I'm going to fix it in a few seconds. And I'll do the same with the end of this clip. Okay, so I put my playhead at the end of this clip. Again, I go to modify, and I select add freeze frame. And again, the same thing. Okay, now I have those two pictures here. Now I can add my transition. Okay, it's taken a little bit of time from both clips. And now I can shorten the clip as much as I want. Okay, my transition will be there without taking any of the audio, anything that I've spoken in the end here and in the beginning here. Okay, now I can right click on the transition itself and select show precision editor if I want to make even more precise edits. Okay, so I can go to the top clip here and drag it to the right. Okay, you see that? You can actually look at your waveform here. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, I made this larger. Okay, you can see the waveform here exactly when I finish talking. And you can see the waveform of the bottom one and see when I start talking. Okay, so you can move this somewhere to the middle and move the top one where I talk somewhere to the middle again. Now let's hear it. Q&A session coming up. So think about it and ask me anything you want. And one more thing I want to tell you. It's okay. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, now one guy isn't talking on top of the other guy. Okay, I can close the precision editor and there you go. Okay, so if you would look carefully on those images while the transition is coming, you could see the freeze frame. Okay? You could see that my face is stops moving. Okay, take a look. But it's so quick that no one would realize if you wouldn't know about it. Okay, so we have a problem. Okay, no slack time was left before or after the clips. But here's a solution. Okay, how we can resolve this problem. Okay, with this simple trick. All right. Any questions about this?
Any questions on the freeze frame and how to solve that problem? No, go ahead.
Okay, George, until when do we have? Until what time do we have?
About another half hour.
Okay. Now, let's say I have this. Okay, so I've added this transition here. And now I want to also add the background that I had before. Okay, it's going to get a little bit more complicated. Okay, so those who are starting, I'm sorry in front. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing I did before. Okay, I want to try and have both things I've done before. I want to have this, and I want to have the transition. Okay, and let's see if it's possible. Okay, now, so up until here, we've done that before. Now let's add the transition. Okay, so it was this one. And I hope you can see it, but I can't add a transition here. Okay, the transition can only go to the main timeline. Okay, at the bottom. In iMOVIE, a transition can only go here at the bottom. Anything you add as a second layer does not accept a transition. And if I did have something, okay, so let's say I have this, and I'll add this again. This is completely not what I want, okay? Because the transition will only play on the background. Okay, take a look. Okay? Let me put back my head. I'll just hear the echo a moment. Okay, so the transition runs on the background, and that's not what I want. So the way to resolve it is a little bit. It's a little bit longer. Okay, it takes a few steps, but it is the basis to. Okay, I'm just undoing what I've done. This is the basis to the problem that I've explained before. Also, that you cannot add more than a second layer. Okay, this is one big limitation in iMOVIE. Okay, I'm going to do things now that take a few steps. It's a little bit more advanced, but follow with me. It's not very complicated, okay? It's just that it takes a few steps to accomplish. So, first of all, I'm going to remove the second clip and the transition. And I'm going to add the background. Normalize what I wanted to get. Okay, again. Let's put the background right here. I'm on top. Okay, so now I fixed the background problem of one clip. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to export all of this, okay, as a movie. Okay, so I'm going to the share a share option right here in the top right corner. I select file. I see that this is, these are the options that I want. I click next. And let's call this clip 1. And I save it. Okay, I'm waiting for this circle here to fill in. This is a progress indicator. Okay, it's a short clip, so it should be pretty fast. Alright. Now I'm going back to my projects and I create a new project. Okay, so I click on create new movie. And now let's take the second clip that I had before. You can drag it to the timeline or click or press the E button on your keyboard. Okay, now it's in my timeline, so I create a new movie with this clip. And again, I'll do the same thing. Okay, go to my backgrounds. I put it right here, I put this clip on top. And let's make them both the same length. And once again, okay, I fixed the problem in this clip. Okay, I can maybe solve the cropping issue again. Okay, remember, we've done this before. And again, I'm going to share this as its own movie on my hard drive. Click next. Let's give this a name. This will be clip 2. And we're waiting for the progress indicator to fill in. Alright. And okay, let's give this a name. It's fine. And now I'm going to create a new movie. This will be the movie which will combine both of them. What do I need to do now? Now I have to import the two movies that I just shared. Okay, so I click on this downward arrow here to import. Okay, you have to find a place on your computer where you exported those two movies. You can shift click to select both of them together. Import selected, and here they are. Okay, so now when I drag those to my timeline, okay, now I dragged. Now I can select, and if I press the E button, it will add it to the end of my movie. So I press E, it was added to the end. Now I have both clips here, and now I can add a transition. Okay, now you will still see black in between, but I'm keeping my nice backgrounds. Okay, just taking out my headphones so you can hear it. So think about it and ask me anything you want. The thing I want to tell you is to have a very okay. So it takes a few more steps. Okay, it's a little bit more cumbersome, but it can be done. Okay, so this is the limitation in iMOVie. And the same thing with multiple layers. Okay, let's say you want to show. I've done a movie once where I'm showing 4 clips at the same time. Okay, I split my screen in 4, and I see 4 images at the same time. How can you do that? Well, that's the way to do it. Okay, you have to put one movie in a corner, and then export it as a movie, then import it back again. Okay, then do the same thing. Use this and export. Add another one to it and export it and import it again. Okay, it's very cumbersome, but it's a way to do it. Okay. Now I said that I'll try to solve the problem of the black, the dark image. If you can solve the dark image in iMOVie, So let's see if you can do it. Okay, so I have this clip here. Let's show more of it. Okay, something like that. And now let's see if we can fix this image. So I go again to my filters and audio effects. I select clip filter here. Okay, and let's see if there's something here that will make it look lighter. Now, unfortunately, I don't see something that can do it. Okay, so anything I will select here. Okay, anything I select here will only make it either worse or maybe slightly better. Okay, maybe this one is a little bit lighter, but again, it doesn't fix the problem. Okay, now, having said that, okay, I'm going to take back what I said before, because there are things that you can do. Okay, there is some color correction you can do. Okay, I'm going to select the clip here and go to one of those. Okay, color balance and color correction. Okay, let's start with color balance. First, let's see what the auto correction can do for me. Okay, this is one thing. Okay, it made it much brighter. My face is now much clearer, but it's also more black and white. Okay, so the color was taken out. So instead of that, let me go to let me undo. Let's go to the white balance here. Sorry. Let's go to the white balance, and if I select my skin, sorry, there's a skin tone balance. Okay, so let me select skin tone balance and press on my skin. Okay, and this is what I got. Okay, again, it's not great, not really what I wanted. Okay, so let me undo, and let's fix this cropping, because I pressed undo one time too much. So this time let's try the color correction. Okay, now what you can do here is play with light colors or the dark colors or the midtones, and play with your saturation, and play with the temperature of your image. Okay, so let's try to make it lighter. Okay, so this works. Let's make the dark less dark. And the midtones also, I'll shift it to the right to make it also less dark. Okay? So this is much better than what we had before. Okay? But, like I said before, when you shoot something in the dark, it gets grainy. And that grainy effect I cannot take it out. Okay? It will remain there forever. Unless you add some more complicated effects, but for that you will need a more high-end movie editor, okay, not iMOVIE. Okay, and those will be able to smooth out surfaces. Okay, so shifting everything to the right made it lighter. If I had shifted it to the left, it would get even darker. So that's good for something that's too bright. Okay, here you play with the saturation. Okay, but I think it was good where it was. And the temperature, okay, again, I think it's not bad where I had it before. Okay, so you do have some color correction that you can do in iMOVIE, but again, once something was shot in under bad conditions, you have some imperfections which will remain there forever. Okay, any questions about what we did until now?
Did that just do one picture, or is that doing the whole clip, what you just did?
Okay, that's a very good question. I selected the whole clip. Okay, so the change was done to the whole clip. Okay? Okay, and when I play it, you can see all this grainy effect that's dancing. Okay, it's really dancing, but that's really the best that we could get. Now, this is a very good question, and I want to show you. What if you have, let's say you shot something that's partially dark and partially it was good, okay? Part of it was not a shot in the dark area. So how can you apply what I just did to only part of your clip? Well, it's very simple. You just go wherever the change occurs. Okay, I'm just picking something just like that, and you split. Okay, so you can go in here and right click on your mouse and select split clip, and now this clip became 2 clips. Okay, and now you can apply an effect to one clip and not apply to the other one. Okay, so just for the heck of it, okay, I'm going to bring it back to something bad. Okay, and now you can see the difference. Okay, so that's very, very simple, and the same can be done to any change that you want. Okay, any change to your white balance, the color balance, color corrections. If something is shaking, you want to fix the shape of it. You want to fix the crop settings, timing, add effects to the sound or to the image. All of that. If you want to do it only partially, that's the way to do it. You know, you split your clip where you want to have the difference, and you only apply it to the one clip where you want the fix done. All right? Any other question?
Any other questions on this? No, go ahead.
All right. Let's see if I have something more. Okay, so that's the one that I've already talked about. Okay, like I said, workaround if you want more than one overlay, and other limitations like I've shown you before. It's something that unfortunately I had to do very often.
Okay,
Okay.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. We have one more question. Yeah.
Question, I think I can stretch a point a little bit, but you have to download a desktop to your picture file in order to use it as an event in iMovie.
George, can you repeat because I
Wait, what was that? I'm not sure I understand your question.
I have a file on my desktop that I uploaded with a thumb drive. How do I get that into the iMovie program?
All right, so the question is, he's got a movie file, correct? Or a clip, or whatever.
How to get this?
How does he get it into iMovie? He's
Okay.
got it on his desktop. Can you just
Okay,
review
so-
that one more time?
Okay, so there are a few ways you can do it. Basically, you have to import your clip into iMovie. Now, one way you can do it is like I've shown before. You have the downward arrow right here, or the same thing, you select File, and then Import Media, or the keyboard shortcut Command-I for import. Okay, so import media or downward arrow, and you get this import window here. And now you have to.
You don't see the
We're not seeing that window. Okay.
All right. Okay, so once you have that, you have to go to the place where your file is located on your computer. Okay, if we're talking about the file on the computer, okay, so it should be here somewhere. Okay, I have my Macintosh computer. Okay, right here. Okay, you can select any of those locations, or if it's on some external drive, you can select your drive. Okay, and just find it. Or if it's on your desktop, then it will be here under the favorites. Okay, you select your desktop, and then you can just select what you want. Okay, and click on import. Okay, so this is just some screenshot that I've taken once. Okay, this is something I'm doing for another course. Okay, it's just an image. I'm just doing it here as an example. This is a picture. I click on import selected, and here it is. Okay, in my event. Okay?
Rafi,
Now,
Rafi, can you drag it from your desktop right into the movie?
that's exactly what I was going to show you. Okay, so let me make this window smaller. Okay, and let me bring over something. Okay, hold on a second.
You can drag it right from your desktop right onto the movie.
Okay, so again, this is another image that I have on my desktop. Okay, I just take it here, drag it here in the event area. Okay, this is the browser. I just leave it here, and there you go. All right, and now from here I can put it here on top of my movie. Okay, you can put it anywhere you want. Okay, now one thing that I want to point out, this is another tip. When you take a picture, okay, and you put it in your movie, iMovie will automatically select the Ken Burns effect. Okay, Ken Burns, maybe sometimes it's what you want. Very often it's not what you want. Okay, in my Udemy course, I get many students asking me questions, and this one comes up very often. And they say, my image is moving up and down all the time, and I don't know why. And usually it happens when you have a portrait image like here. iMovie will use a Ken Burns effect, which slightly moves the image from side to side, okay, or it zooms in and zooms out. And when you have a slideshow, it's very nice. Okay, you pan inside your movie, it has a very nice effect. A few seconds of that picture, a few seconds of another picture, it's very nice. When you have a portrait image, it will always move from top to bottom or bottom to top. Very often you just don't want it. Okay, so just go to the crop settings and select fit. Okay, when select fit, you see the whole image without it moving at all. Or you select crop to fill like we did before. You select what you want. Okay, you show more of it. Or you do select Ken Burns, but you say, I want to see more of my image. I want to see all of this. Okay, now I click on the second rectangle here, and I move it over here. I can enlarge this, and they both overlap almost throughout the whole of my image. And what it says is, start by showing this rectangle and move in this direction all the way till you see the other rectangle. And that way the movement is very small. Okay, the movement is small, you see almost all of it throughout all the region of the movie. Okay, I jumped from one subject to the other. Okay, so let's get back to the import. Okay, so again, import, you click on the download arrow, or file import, or just drag it from your desktop to your browser right here.
Okay.
One more thing I want to show you, one more thing.
Okay, then we got a couple more questions. Okay.
Okay, when you hook up a camera, okay, you shot something with a camera or with your iPhone, it will show up here under cameras. Okay, at that point, you select your camera, okay, or you can film right here. Okay, I'm filming myself now. This is what you were seeing. Okay, and I can hit record now and record myself. Okay, I'm now recording myself, and I'm going to stop and press here close. And this clip here is now in my browser, and I can add it to my movie. All right? Okay, any other question?
Yes.
I started using iMovie back when it came out with kids on very limited projects, but I never tried to apply it to a personal project because it was just too time-consuming. So now I've got stuff in photos slideshows. Is there any way to get a photos slideshow into iMovie to work with it?
How do you get a photo slideshow into iMovie? I can answer that question, or he can answer it.
Everybody
Okay,
knows.
first I want to I want to ask a question, another question. Do you want to create a slideshow from scratch in iMovie, or you already created
I've
a
already
slideshow in the
created,
Photos app and you want to import it into iMovie?
I've already created the slideshow.
She already created it.
I haven't added
Okay.
music or anything.
Okay, so in the Photos app, you have to share. Okay, you create a slideshow and now you have to share it as a movie. Okay, can you do that, or you need help with that as well?
I don't know. No, I don't know how to do that.
You do?
I
You
don't.
No, we can cover that, and we can just deal with that. What he's saying is you've got to share it.
On iCloud or something?
He's
No,
gonna-
you want to share it as a movie.
Okay.
He's going into his library right now and going to show you how to do it.
Okay.
So make sure you keep all these questions in mind, because we'll cover them during the classes or whatever. One of the things that you've got to do is start to work with the program. And as you come about things that you can't figure out, either YouTube it, Google it, or bring it to the next meeting, and we'll solve the problem, or take it to the class. Make a list of your questions as you work on your projects. Anything can be resolved. Most anything can get done, even in iMovie.
All right. Okay, so right here I have just five pictures. Okay, and I have the slideshow. This is the Photos app. You click on the export button right here on the top right corner, just like in iMovie. Okay, I click on export.
Yeah.
And save as the format. Okay, you select one of those formats. Okay, just for now I select one of those.
720. 720. Pick 720.
Okay, you make sure you know where it goes. So, okay, in my movies folder, that's fine. It's called Soccer M4V, and I press on the Save button. Okay, now the Photos app is going to render it and create my movie. Okay, so I'm turning the slideshow into a movie file on my computer. Once it's done, okay, I'm going back to iMovie. I want to import once again. Okay, so I click on the downward arrow, and now I want to browse and go to my movies folder. Okay, so here's my movies folder, and here's my soccer movie. Okay, and now I import selected. And here it is. Okay?
Is there a limit on
So
the
once
number?
again,
She had, what was the other
Is
question?
there a limit on the number of slides that can be
No.
like 3,000?
It'll take a while.
Okay, I'll give it a try.
It's going to take a while to share it, and it'll take a while to import it, but it can be done.
okay, but I want to give you one little tip. Okay, I've done many slideshows for people, as a job, and one tip I give people all the time: select, up to 80, 100 pictures, maybe a little bit more, like 150 is the maximum that I think your audience would be willing to take. Okay, if it's something you want to present to an audience, keep it not too long, 3-4 minutes. The more than that, people will start to lose their patience. Okay, so this is a small tip for you. Now, one thing that I've done very often is I went into the Photos app. I've created different slideshows using different types. Okay, so let's say one slideshow. So let's say I have 80 pictures I want to make a slideshow from. So I'm taking 20 pictures, and I made a slideshow using this theme, okay, with these photos moving. Then I take another 20 pictures, and I make another slideshow using another theme in Photos app. Okay, and that way I have 4 different slideshows, each using a different theme. I export all of them, okay, as a movie like I did just now for this one. And then I go into iMovie and I import them, and then I can combine them together using transitions and using one music, a track which I can very easily control. Because in the Photos app, it's much harder to control the music. Right here, I can put them one after the other. I can put one nice music track, have it fade in, fade out. You can add some voiceover on top of it, where you can explain what people are seeing. You can add some titles. Okay, use the titles tab. You can add some titles on top of the slideshows that you created in the Photos app. Okay, so I really like doing it this way because it's very easy to create your slideshows in the Photos app, and then use iMovie to augment, okay, to bring your slideshows to a next level.
Okay.
All right?
Any other questions? And then we gotta end it.
Can it be saved on a DVD?
What?
Can the iMovie be saved on a DVD?
Yes.
Yes. When you have, I wrote it down. Okay. Is the bottom the main one when you have? Yes. Okay, that was the question. Like you have one on the top and on the bottom. There's two different layers. The bottom
Yes.
the bottom is the main layer. Is that correct?
Yes. The bottom is your main timeline, and everything you put in top will always cover what's on the bottom. So right now, the top one is a simple cutaway. Okay, that's how it's called. I select it and I go to this overlay option right here, and when I click it, I can select what type of overlay it is. The simple one is a cutaway, where the top one simply covers the bottom one. Okay, and when you do that, you will hear both clips. Okay, you will hear both this one and this one, but you will only see the top one. Now, if you want to only hear one of them, you can mute the other one, or drop the volume of the other one, anything you want. Okay, or you can make it green screen, or split screen, or picture-in-picture, that way. Okay, and again, the top one is always covering the bottom one.
All right, Ruth, our 99-year-old number. Yes, Ruth.
I have a simple question. I often get a picture via email that has an icon in the middle. I tap on it and I get a movie. What software are they using?
Well, you don't know what software they use.
Right, I want to know what they're using.
It says GIF in the middle, right? Does it say that? Does it say GIF in the middle of the picture? And when you
It
tap
has a
it,
white triangle in the middle.
So you can't open it, is that what you're saying?
I tap on the icon and I get a movie.
right?
So why do you care how they made it?
She wants to do it.
To know where it was created.
I want to know
anywhere.
what software they're using to send it.
I think you gotta ask them.
Well, he lives in Baltimore, I guess I can.
Or if you right-click on it and get info, you might get some information.
George, it could also
Okay,
be
so-
an original
so-
footage.
George's answer is correct. You have to ask them, but the main point here is that your mail application is the one which would
Ruth, listen to what he's saying. What? Go ahead.
I'm saying that Apple's mail application is the one which put the triangle, which is the play button, in that frame. Okay, so your mail application knows that it's a movie, and the mail application adds that play button, so you will know that you can play it. And if you would send the movie to someone else, they would also get the same play button in their mail application.
In other words, you're able to play it, which is the biggest. Sometimes sometimes you get a movie from somebody and it won't play. But in this case, it is playing.
It's usually on a picture.
Right.
And it could
Picture
have
of
been,
you,
And it's not showing
tap it, and
voice.
all of a sudden,
Right.
it may move around a little bit.
and it could have been taken by any movie creating software.
Right. Yes, anything else, sir? We really appreciate your time and effort.
So one more thing. So as I've said in the beginning, I have a course that I'm teaching
Oh, yeah.
Udemy. It's more than 10 hours, okay? So it's very comprehensive. I explain everything over there, from the beginning, how to import your footage, how to arrange it so you can easily find the parts that you want to use later on, etc., etc., okay? And I go into very high-level tips, and the idea is that you can select what you want, okay? I think I've created it in a very pretty logical fashion so that you can easily go and jump to the specific subject that you want to see or get more help with. So it's over 10 hours, but you don't have to see all the 10 hours. You can see only those subjects that you want. It begins a little bit fast because someone gave me a comment that it's very slow. Okay, so for those who don't have patience, I've created a very first lecture where I show very fast how to go from nothing to an NMUG. Okay, then people started to complain, it goes too fast, please explain. And I told them, just continue to the next lecture, and it starts from scratch. Okay, so if you have that, don't be worried. I explain everything at a slow pace, and you can always go back or make it run slower, etc. And I will send an email to George, and George will send it over to everyone else with a $10 coupon instead of $195. Okay, so you can use that. Now Udemy has a site-wide Thanksgiving sale, so you can get almost any course for $10. Okay, but the difference is if you use that coupon, I will get most of the share, and if you use them, then they will get most of the share. And after the sale is over, you can still use my coupon, okay, anytime you want. So as you want, okay, you don't have to use it. But if you want, okay, it's there for you. So with that, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, and we appreciate that.